Hey everyone, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm playing and reviewing Clan of Two, the first expansion for the Mandalorian Adventures. And disclaimer that I got a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Clan of Two does require the original game, but it has a bunch of new stuff to recommend it. There are 4 new characters, bringing the total roster to 12. We've also got an all-new booklet that follows Season 2 of the series and has 4 new maps. That straight up doubles the number of maps in the game. And you've got 4 new mercenary missions, equal to the number that was in the original base box, so doubling that too. And while 3 of these missions let you use the hidden motives variant that makes the game kind of semi-competitive, you don't have to use it for any of them. They could all be played without that. There are also some new enemy mechanics, including a duel mechanic where you have to flip a card when you're fighting cool boss characters. There are some new events, including some tougher events that replace ones from the base deck if you want to up the difficulty in a different way. But let's see it in action and play at least one of the maps. We'll see how much time it takes. I'm going to do the first new one, the Liberation of Caladan. And just to note, if you haven't seen the Mandalorian Adventures before, and just to kind of show how varied the gameplay is, I can take any mercenary mission, including the missions from the first box, and slot them in and play on these new maps with all new missions. And at this point, including free missions they publish on the website, and with the expansion, I think it was like 12 mercenary missions or more, multiplied by 8 maps. Yeah, there's a lot to play here if you want to really dig deep. Now, I've said this before in previous coverage, but while the Mandalorian Adventures does have a true solo mode, I don't like how it works because you have to kind of like split things between your 2 characters, and I find it kind of awkward. So I'm just going to 2-hand to show off 2 of the new characters. I've got Ahsoka Tano, I guess she's a Jedi, right? Anakin's Padawan. She's been in a lot of the Clone Wars stuff, and I think she has her own show on Disney Plus that I have not watched. And then Fennec Shan was in Mandalorian 2 a little bit. She was also in Boba Fett, but I didn't watch that at all. Ahsoka can only attack in her space, whereas most characters can attack adjacent spaces, but she gets a free movement every turn, which is pretty crazy, and she's got some really cool cards. And then Fennec is a renowned sniper. When she attacks, she can reduce the strength of the attack by 1 to have 2 range instead of 1, so they're kind of nice corollaries or opposites of each other. Now, in terms of difficulty level, I am replacing the weaker events with the new ones from the expansion, so that ups things a little bit. I'm also using the harder enemies, although they do it differently in the expansion than they do in the base game. This is the reinforcement stack where new spawns will come from, and you'll see it says 5. And then here you'll see these say 5, 6, 7, 8, because what they did in the expansion is you just replace the reinforcements. Like nothing else changes. The enemies that start on the map are going to be exactly the same, which is, again, pretty different from the core game, because in that one, you'd be replacing several of the enemies from the basic set, as well as some of the reinforcements. It makes setup a billion times faster because you don't have to like kind of go through each set of tokens and find them. But it also means that if you finish the mission quickly enough and like don't spawn that many reinforcements, then you haven't really increased the difficulty that much. So I'm kind of mixed on that change. I'll discuss it more in the review section. But anyway, with all that said, let's get to the actual scenario. So in this one, we are trying to end the tyrannical rule of Morgan Elsbeth. She is over here, the only circle threat, and she's always in here. She is behind these big walls and this gate. Now, it says over here, Captain Lang with the map rules. If we find him, he's one of the face-down triangles, and defeat him, the door opens. But we don't need to do that to get to her, because right here, these are like elevation things that you can't go past. Right here and right here, you can go onto the rooftops and then jump down into the garden to confront her that way. And we need to kill her, but also find 3 people among the triangles that are prisoners. And if we just go into their space, share a space with them, we can free them for free. So we need to get all 3 prisoners and defeat her. If we lose one of our characters, we lose the game. That's always the case. But also, every time that we have a crisis where we get one of the actions to 6 or more, we're going to move this little power track. This is going to determine what Elsbeth's life is. So the longer we take and the more we move this, the tougher she'll be to defeat. And you can see there are a ton of enemies face up. And a few of them have new abilities. A common one is called Fast. When this enemy moves during the event step, it moves 1 additional space. Vigilant, this eyeball, means that you can't mess up their abilities, like with disruption and that kind of stuff. Dueling is a new one for bosses that I'd mentioned. It uses that special duel deck. And what happens is whenever you deal damage to them, you flip up the top of the card. This is a hint to what kind of damage you might want to deal. And the ability on the back is going to like block things or have them riposte and hit you back, that kind of stuff. So it kind of makes the boss fights more epic. And then there's Parting Blow. When defeated, this enemy deals 1 damage to a character in its space only. They also changed up the tough ability a little bit. In the old version, when dealt damage, discard the bottom card of the planning deck, and if it's defend, it blocks 1 damage. So that would work, I don't know, what, a fourth of the time? Now it's much better. When dealt damage, draw a dual card and block the damage shown next to the little armor icon. So you use the same duel deck, and you just look at the value in the bottom right, and there is only 1, 2, and then I think there's a few zeros, but there's mostly ones, so it is going to consistently block damage better than it used to with the old planning way of resolving it. But okay, that's what we're up against. Let's get to our characters and see what they're going to do. So here, we can start with Fennec, the sniper. So let's see what she got. So she got a 4 with an intel special, and by the way, if you haven't seen how the game is played, I'll explain some, but my original videos would probably help out more. So she can play this as a 4 value action, and if she plays it in the intel slot, she deals 2 damage to an enemy within range 3 and then disrupts it, which means it'll skip its next activation. It's pretty awesome. Draw them out as a 1 value card, and if she moves with it, she can move an enemy up to 2 spaces. That's great. Just a straight up 4. And then a life debt, there's a tactics card. It has no value, but wherever it's played, it will automatically activate the event for that slot. Either deal 2 damage to a threat within range 2, or deal 4 damage to a threat in another character's space, any range. Oh, that's awesome. If Ahsoka can rush forward and get to the boss, that would be amazing. Now looking around at our immediate environment, we'll start here. Here's some long-range guys, and this one's going to attack us if we end our move next to him. That's the Sentry ability. This guy's just got a lot of life. This guy's not that strong, but he has tough and he's fast. Another tough and fast. And looking at the initial values from these sabotage tokens, we can see move has the highest, attack and intel are in the middle. But whatever, we'll just pop intel right away. So I'm doing a 4 value intel card, and I've got the ability to deal 2 damage to an enemy within range 3, then disrupt it. So let's do the intel action first. Within the range of the value I played for, I can either pick an enemy within that range and move them 1 space in the direction of my choice, or I can look at a face down token within 4 range, like this triangle, and see what it is. That's what I'm going to do. And, oh, it's a healing thing. Okay, so not terrible to go there, but it's not any of the prisoners we're looking for. Okay, then the ability said deal 2 damage to an enemy within range 3, then disrupt it. Well, I'm going to waste the disrupting thing, but I want to kill this guy. Besides him just being an enemy that can attack us from long range, he would have made it tough for us to move around and not get hurt. And I want to kind of open a path for Ahsoka, maybe, to charge through and try to get to the boss through the rooftops. But on each character's turn, they get to play 2 action cards at 2 different slots. What do I want to do now? I could use draw them out and just move people really far away. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. So 5 is the magic number where bad things happen. So getting to 3 + 1, 4 is totally fine. So she can move 1 space and move an enemy up to 2 spaces. Let me go this way. I don't want to be right next to all the bad guys. And then can't get this guy out of the way with 2 movement. So maybe I'll take the other sniper and just put them really far away, like down here, and that way if we get an activation for them, they shouldn't be able to hit us, hopefully. By the way, the top card of the event deck, which you are allowed to see, currently is going to activate everybody in some way, all moving, all attacking, something. Okay, so that's it for her. Now we go through each action slot from left to right and see if it has gotten to 5 or higher. So no, no, 6, so we'll get to that in a second, and no. Oh, and I lied, I'm sorry. You don't automatically lose when this thing goes off the final track. It just starts dealing you damage automatically. But anyway, because we had a 6 or more, this does advance, so now the boss has 8 life instead of 7. And then we resolve the top event card, which is Close Quarters Combat. This is one of the new ones. That's why it's got red. So the nearest enemy moves 2 spaces toward you, and then 1 enemy of any type tries to attack. I think in the old one, they would only move 1. Now, unfortunately, that is going to result in some damage because this guy is the nearest. And 1, 2. He could have moved 3 with his fast. By the way, the U is Fennec, since she's the one who activated. And she's taking 1 out of 5 damage. That's not great. But now the slot clears, so her card goes to her discard. This goes away, so now the intel action will be a lot less expensive for a little bit. And Fennec draws 2 replacement cards. By the way, you might notice that I'm using 4 cards. Technically, on the highest difficulty, you're only supposed to use 3 cards. But I don't like that rule as much because I like to be able to use cards for their special abilities. When you only have a 3-card hand, that becomes much less... But I don't like that because... I like to use characters' special abilities more often, and when you have a 3-card hand, often they're not in the right order for that to happen. But let's get to Ahsoka. She got kind of a weird draw, and not one I really love, because these Shoto lightsaber cards are incredibly powerful attacks. When she performs an attack, if the top card of the planning discard pile is retaliate or defend, it's 6 attack instead of 2. Great for taking out a boss. But yeah, having them at the beginning means if I want to save them, or at least save one of them, I got to be using these, and that's, not ideal. This one, by the way, is a 4, but it's a 5 if you play it to the attack action. That's what the little bonus icon there means. And just to remind you, she can only attack from the exact same space, but she gets a free move every turn. Yeah, and if you can't guess from the Shoto lightsaber, her whole big thing is about managing the discard pile of the planning deck. So she wants to get planning cards and use them, or get them and discard them. So what should I do? I think I'm going to move 4. Because, again, I want to get her to the boss. I mean, yes, it's going to horribly pop this, but it was already at 4. So, going to 8 is in some ways a good thing because I am getting the most out of it before it pops possible. And now the way's been cleared. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she gets a free movement before or after any action every turn. So, hi. This guy has 3 life, and this is the grapple ability. If I move out of his space, he'll deal 1 damage to me, which I still might do. And then I want to save the Shoto lightsaber, so let's start getting her planning thing going. So when she plans for 1, the value is how many cards she draws from the top of the deck, but she can only keep 1 no matter how many she draws. Even if she played a planning 4, she would still only be able... Hey, that's a good one. Ooh, and if she uses this, if somebody attacks her, she'll set up her Shoto lightsabers for super damage. Yeah, so when she gets attacked, she can discard this to block 1 damage. Now, if she had drawn more, she could have discarded some, and again, then she would have been more set up, but we'll just try... Ooh, can she... Oh, yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. Look, when she moves out from the grapple, she'll automatically be dealt 1 damage that she can defend against. And then it's Shoto lightsaber time, baby. Although I don't know what that triangle is over there. I might want to use intel to find out. But anyway, that's it for her turn. But yeah, move clearly has a crisis. So she only has 8 life. That's okay. And sorry, I didn't show this, but I saw the top card as a sniper card. So I'm hoping with only 1 on the map and him being kind of far away, although they do tend to have long range. Maybe Fennec won't get shot. I kind of feel like she will. Yeah, she will. Gosh darn it. 3 range. If I'd sent the guy in a different direction, maybe I wouldn't have got hit. Now, 3 snipers max would attack at range 3. In this case, there is only 1 revealed on the map, but yeah, he's going to attack Fennec, and she's now at 2 out of 5 life. If we lose somebody, we lose. Okay, and each sniper not within range 3, the nearest character moves 2 towards them. Well, that part doesn't matter, and the maximum of 2 enemies can attack the same character doesn't matter. So we're good to go. Just to show you, the next one on top is a question mark, which will sometimes spawn, but usually won't activate specific enemies that often. All right, and come on, Ahsoka. Defensive stance. When performing this action, keep 2 different planning cards instead of 1. Ooh, so that's a really good plan. Mode of reflection. Intel. I wanted to use Intel. Take the top card of the planning discard pile. If it's defending, you resolve this ability 2nd time. Oh, that's not useful yet. And I could use 1 Shoto lightsaber for its regular usage. I don't know. We'll figure things out in a second. But for now, Fennec's in some trouble. What she got? If there are no enemies within range 1 of you, well, there's 1 literally standing on me. Deal 2 damage to a threat at range 2, in addition to performing a regular attack at range 1 or 2. Or not 1 or 2. Oh, that's right. You could do life death. You could actually shoot the guy that's on Ahsoka right now and defeat him, but we don't want that, right? We want Ahsoka to get attacked to use the defend card she's holding on to. Gosh, the guy in my space has 4 life and armor. So if I tried shooting him right now, it would pretty much definitely not work. I don't know. Maybe... I do need her to go in and start intelling and finding where these prisoners are, right? So let's, I hate to do this, let's use 4 movement and just say bye to that guy for now and go 1, 2, 3. We know this is here. You have to stop when you enter a space with a face-up enemy or a face-down token. But now she can heal immediately, so she's down to only 1 damage out of 5. That's certainly better. And then even though this would get a bonus for attacking, I think I'm going to have her intel right here. Oh, there's the boss guy that opens the door. Let's just leave him alone, right? Because now, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be prisoners. And it's a 3 out of 5 chance for those. All right, Fennec gets just a 3 value and reposition. Move to 2 spaces, ignoring enemy abilities if you plan. That's pretty awesome. And nothing's going off yet. Moves pretty close at 4, and the rest aren't too bad. 2 or 1 each. Well, the first thing I want to have her do is use her free move to get out of here. This guy does attack her. She defends against it. Now it's the top card of that deck. Although, I just realized now if I do any planning, it probably won't stay the top card of the deck. Well, here, let's try this. I think this might work. I'm going to do defensive stance. So it's a 4 planning. I don't have to use it for planning, but I want to. Because I want to use her free movement to go in there and then do a move action to get in here in case that's an enemy. And then I can attack next turn. All right, so that is going to take planning over the top. I should probably be doing this smarter. So I get 4 cards and I can keep 2 different cards instead of 1, which again is usually not the case. And then I can put 1 of these on top of the deck if I want to, and then I discard the rest in whatever order I want, which could maybe still help the Shoto thing work. Ooh, retaliate. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. So retaliate lets me, when an enemy attacks me, I can deal 2 damage to that enemy. Or sorry, this deals me damage with any ability. Mobilize lets me move up to 2 spaces, ignoring enemy abilities, which is great. Defend, you already saw. And strategize lets you discard it to draw 2 skill cards. You can do a 3rd action this turn, although it still has to be in a different slot. These are awesome. Now, I want defend or retaliate on top of the deck. So I'm going to take the mobilize and the retaliate for my 2 using special power. And then I'm going to discard both of these because this is going to be kind of crazy. Watch. I'm going to use Moment of Reflection as an intel action. It says take the top card of the planning discard pile, and then if it's defend, resolve that ability second time. So I now have all 4 of the special cards that I could have. The mobilized one is new, by the way. And there's a defend on top of the deck for my Shadow Lightsaber. Seems like that worked out pretty well. And then I'm not popping intel yet. That part's good. But I can look at a card or move somebody within 3. So I don't really care what that is. I'm going to move into it no matter what. We know that's the bad guy. So I could get this guy out of Fennec's way. Or I could just look at one of the... Let's get this guy out of Fennec's way, I think, is maybe the better idea. Because, again, there's like a very high chance that most of these are prisoners now that I know that bad guy is there. All right, over here, we are not having a crisis. Oh, we are having a crisis. Crap, I forgot about the 1. So we are making the boss stronger and also doing an event. Yeah, they're at 9 life now. Let's see what this question mark was. Curiosity. The child flees unless the character... Oh, we just resolved another event card because there is no child in this scenario. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted. There are a lot of melee guys on the board. Okay, so 1 moves up to 3, and then 3 of them attack at range 0. Now, lucky for me, there are a lot of those guys on the board, and you get to choose which ones move as long as they can move at least 1 space. So you see this guy all the way up here, totally out of the action. I can say, hey, you, move. 1, 2, 3, towards Fennec is the closest. But then nobody attacks, which is much better than like this guy moving into her place or this guy moving into her place. He would have also disrupted one of our things if he moved. He would have hurt her again when she ran out. So yeah, we'll cheese the AI rules a little bit to our advantage. All right, come on, Ahsoka, get something cool for like moving. Oh, that's good. Okay, and a big value just to hit with. But I mean, again, these are 6 attacks. So if I can get like both of those off in concurrent rounds, or if Fennec used her life debt to do 4 damage, we should be able to hopefully take the boss down pretty easily. All right, so what do I want Fennec to do? Should I just take a chance? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of them are nice. So I'm looking at this reposition card. Oh, wait, crud. I don't want to cover up the defend until Ahsoka gets to use it. And if I get 3 cards, I could keep 1. I could put 1 on top of the deck, but I'd have to discard 1. If it's not a retaliate or a defend, yeah, it would just totally mess up her chances for using the lightsaber to its fullest. All right, so let's do a move 3. It is going to do a crisis and pop move, but we only have a question mark on top. I'm not just going to have her take a chance. I guess do this one. Okay. Hey, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so that's one of our 3 prisoners. We can just rescue them for free. So now we've got 4 left, and 2 of them are bad guys, which is okay. Okay, and then I think I'm going to finally attack. I haven't used the attack action yet with Concentrate Fire. So there are no enemies within range 1 of her because the face-down things don't count until they're revealed. So I can deal 2 damage to a threat at range 2, and then I can also attack for 2. Now, nobody's close enough, so I have to use her ability and lower it to a 1 to attack at range 2. That means I can do 3 damage total. So I could kill him or him. He has longer range. He can chase me faster, and if I move out of him, that sucks. There are a lot of melee guys on the board, so I feel pretty confident that I can just, like, move them and mess with them. So yeah, let's defeat this guy, because he's the only blaster-type dude anywhere near us. So that's 2 damage, and then another 1 damage from the attack using her special ability. But yeah, she should probably intel these other ones. Well, it'll depend on what Ahsoka finds up there. Like, if that's another prisoner and only one of these 3 is something good, then I don't want to get the wrong one. All right, definitely crisis for movement. But her life is not going up yet. It's still only at 9. Let's see what this question mark is. Concussion. Oh, gosh. You are dealt 1 damage unless you discard the top card of your skill deck. If that card does not have an ability, resolve 1 additional event card. What is on top? Can she just tank the damage? I think she can. After that healing, she'll just suffer. All these cool cards, by the way, are Ahsoka's. But she's got this reposition card that will let her get maybe like a defend or something. So we'll see how things go. All right, but now it's Ahsoka's turn, and before she does anything, let's find out what our friend here is. Oh, it's another prisoner, which does mean that Fennec is going to have to go prisoner hunting quite a bit here. But it also means now Ahsoka is pretty much free and clear to move. So here, this is kind of obvious. She'll use this to move 3 with the bonus. 1, 2, brah, hello. So she's got the duel ability. That eyeball means we can't cancel it, so we're always going to draw a duel card when we hurt her. Now let's do this thing, even though it's going to pop it, and do her Shoto lightsaber. So it's a 6 strength attack instead of a 2, which, according to the top card of this deck, is what I want. I want it to be a higher thing. So let's see what the duel says. Overextend. Duel. Discard all of your planning. Oh my gosh. The enemy blocks 1 damage, so she still takes 5. Then move the enemy 4 spaces towards the nearest enemy in another space. What the fridge? This was all terrible. This is all terrible. But just a note, that was also a 0 on top of the deck, so I could have shot one of those defending guys and not done too bad. Now, on the positive side, she is at 5 life. Even with her about to go up to 10, she is half dead. Yeah, gosh, I lose all of these. All right, well, I'll put the the good ones on top so that I can still use my lightsaber for its power. And the nearest enemy in another space is there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh. And yeah, I don't have my mobilized to easily follow her. This sucks. Well, so it goes. We resolve another crisis, so she's up to 10 life now. And let's see what nastiness this has. Okay, so, there's another one of the new ones. Oh, and I haven't shown you this yet. This is a new cool thing. I'll show you what it means in a second, though. So, one melee person moves up to 4, and then 2 of either of these each move 1. All right, so this melee guy would go 1, 2, 3, 4, so we wouldn't quite reach her. Whereas this one would clearly get to her, because this guy is equidistant between the two of them. So yeah, let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, we can even put him up here, right, with the other guy we're never going to talk to or interact with. And then sniper moves 1, and these guys are going to move 2 because they're fast. So yeah, the sniper can just go here, whatever. And then let's bring in, this guy's a little bit farther away, so let's do that, I guess. But yes, now we get what's called an ongoing effect. So it says, when you play a skill card here, disrupt the attack action. And where does this go? Well, it goes in the action space that it popped. So great. Whenever we do an attack now, we're going to add a yellow token to the attack slot. Now, once we do an event for this one, once it gets to 5 or more, that will go away, but I don't love that. I also don't love that being on top of the deck when there are like 3 or 4. Oh gosh, the boss is one too. Yeah, there's a ton of them. Oh, wait a second. The boss is a melee type. Ooh. Where'd this guy come from? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have her charge towards the closest person. Oh, you ran away, but you came back for more lightsaber. And the top card of the duel deck says 3+ is good again, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to defeat her with another Shoto, but we'll try. Yeah, that actually works out great. What have we got? Force Jump and Foresight. Force Jump, perform a free 2 strength plan action if we play to the move slot, and then move directly to any space within range 2, even jumping over elevation, so she can get right past the walls and help out Fennec. That's awesome. And then Foresight, until the end of the action step, characters ignore enemy abilities. By the way, if you can't figure out, Ahsoka has been my favorite new character. She's just cool as heck. But I mean, the other ones are all fun too. All right, Fennec. I don't miss. What does this do? Each time you deal damage to an enemy this turn, for any reason, increase the damage by 1 and ignore, tough abilities or the yellow retaliate thing. That's awesome. But yeah, I think right now she just wants to intel. Well, it is nice. She'll pop the event, but she won't do a crisis to make the boss harder. All right, so 1 is going to be here. Another enemy. Okay, so one of these 2 is the one I want. Hopefully it's not that one. I guess I should probably send Ahsoka over there just to check, right? If she defeats the boss. And then if it's that one, it won't be like that big a deal to get it. Actually, what do I think? I could do this one to move in there right now and just find out who it is, and at the same time plan and maybe get her like a defend. Although it might mess up Ahsoka's Shoto lightsaber working. Well, let's go for it. All right, so it is okay. Cool. So I just need to beat the boss now. We can ignore that one entirely. But now here, this is pretty important. I'm going to plan for 3. I just hope I see a retaliate or a defend. Yes, okay, cool. So I'll discard the retaliate, and I have to discard the bad luck so that it's still on top, and then she'll get immobilized to move 2. Does she want to use that right now? I mean, there's really nowhere safe for her to go, so she'll just hang out. But yeah, if Ahsoka can just hit the boss hard enough, we can win this next turn. This actually went really well. But we're doing an event over here. Yeah, it could be a painful one. Every melee person moves 2. And then 1 attacks, and then if no enemy attacks, we would do this, but we're not going to. All right, so so this guy's going to disrupt. This guy's almost to her. This guy's nearer to Fennec than the other one, and she just stays where she is. And we'll have the boss attack Ahsoka because she has more life than Fennec does. Now, to show what would have happened, this would have gone into the intel slot, and then whenever we play a skill card here, we discard a random skill card from your hand. Ouch. But don't have to worry about that because the boss hit Ahsoka. All right, what do we got? Another I don't miss. Okay. Oh, my gosh. So with I don't miss, that would be a 6 damage attack. Oh, I forgot about life debt. I could have just hit the boss for 4. Well, if Ahsoka doesn't kill her, that's totally what's going to happen. Well, let's give Ahsoka a chance and Shoto lightsaber for 6. Now I do have to draw a disruption. It's a 2. Okay, so it doesn't pop yet. Oh, this is the final attack, baby. Nope. Disrupt the plan actions. We got to draw another one of those. Doesn't quite pop it, though. It's at 4. But yeah, the enemy blocks 2 damage, so they took 4. Which means they have exactly 1 life left. Oh, here, actually, for big bosses, they gave us higher value damage tokens in the expansion. All right, that's fine, because Fennec can still do life debt on her turn for 4 damage. So Ahsoka really wants to, do something that's not going to make anything go, which would mean, well, she doesn't want to move. I guess she's going to intel. Oh, wait, I forgot to do this guy's disrupt when he moved. So I would have disrupted the lowest strength action slot. And before Ahsoka went, it was like that. Oh, wait, that was like a billion years ago, wasn't it? Ah, crud. Weird, just to mess me up. Make things a little tougher, because I've been getting lucky. Okay, attack is going to go then. Yeah, because I think the guy, like, disrupted a few turns ago. What's on top, though? Blasters? There's only one of them, like, anywhere near to Fennec. And yeah, I don't know what to do for other action. I'm just going to play a 1 intel for nothing, I guess. So I just don't want to make anything worse. All right, so what's this going to do? This thing goes away, at least. She saves a 10 life, so that part's okay. And yeah, this can't be too bad. Oh, everyone moves 1, and then one of them shoots at range 2. So Fennec's definitely going to get shot. Yeah, so this one... Oh, he's fast. And then this one's also fast. Oh, God! Dogpile. Only one of them shoots her, so that part's nice. She's at 3 damage, by the way, but ooh, she can mobilize away from them in a second. That'll be good. And then what's this going in the attack slot? When you play a skill card here, draw a duel card. Reduce your card's strength by its tough value during this action. So it just kind of nerfs the attack action for a while. But that's okay, because Fennec don't care. I got life debt. All right, so this one you can actually play anywhere for its power, and it's just going to make it go to 5 automatically. So the kind of obvious spot is planning, where it's already at 4. And I can do 2 damage to a threat within range 2, or 4 damage to a threat in another character's space. So somehow, with her covered by enemies, she, like, threads the needle through the gate. And Ahsoka, I don't know, is like painting the lady with a laser sight. I mean, maybe she just calls it an orbital bombardment. There you go. But that is 4 damage. And 3+. We got lucky. Then he blocks 1 damage. That's not enough. Then every character moves 2 spaces towards the start space, ignoring enemy abilities. Well, that's actually helpful. Thanks, lady. So, bloom. And Fennec gets to run away. And that is it, because we've defeated her and we found, yep, all 3 prisoners. So cool. That was the liberation of Caladan. Now, just a note, kind of talking about difficulty. If I'd been playing with 3 cards at a time instead of 4, the highest difficulty, clearly things would not have worked out that well. Like, it probably would have been impossible for Ahsoka to keep her lightsabers that long. Fennec was still at 3 damage, and 1 more if she hadn't gotten that defend card when she needed it. And we got lucky the one time we just blindly moved onto a triangle. Actually, the 2 times we blindly moved onto a triangle, because the one up there that Ahsoka got was also a prisoner. What were these, by the way? That's a pretty nasty guy. That's a pretty nasty guy, too, because he would have damaged you the second you stopped. Okay, cool. So yeah, things went very much in our favor. But yeah, that's an example of basically all the new mechanics in Clan of 2. So let's talk about my thoughts on the expansion overall. So first of all, the new maps are cool. You kind of saw this one with its like lockdown thing and a long route to go around, since a lot of missions will have something important in here, even if you use like mercenaries and stuff. The second map has boulders. You can take an action to push, and they like kind of go down and kill things. And the second story mission, by the way, is super cool because it's like waves of enemies attacking. You got to defend for a long time and keep them away from Grogu. The third map I don't find quite as interesting for mercenaries, because its only special rule is that you can like set off an alarm and it'll flip up all the triangles all of a sudden, just have you have to fight a bunch of people. But the actual mission is really cool because you can have 1 or 2 characters who use these little sniper tokens instead of their actual standee. And they can still like move around and attack people, but they can't be attacked because it's supposed to be like where they're kind of focusing their sniper fire. So fun little new mechanic there. And the last map is fun in general for mercenaries and stuff because there's several doors and one can only be gotten rid of when you use this vent into space action, which will be on one of the circles. And also a bunch of enemies will be spawning in here, so you can like send them out into space if you time things right. But the mission is super cool. I'm not going to explain it entirely because it is a huge spoiler for the end of Mandalorian 2. But basically you got to fight a boss who's like carrying Grogu, and then you got to like do like a final stand while you wait for reinforcements. So like really cool mechanic for that one. So yeah, except for maybe one of the maps, I think these are all really cool, both for mercenaries and for their actual mission. And even that one map has a really cool story mission. And just the fact that this expansion doubles the number of maps to use with all those replayable missions is great. I also like the new event cards and their little ongoing abilities. I think that's a fun addition. And being able to replace some of the weaker, more swingy event cards from the original game with these tougher versions, I think is good. Because, yeah, sometimes that is something I complained about in the original game. Sometimes you'll just get like some weird event luck where not much happens and you don't really mind popping the action spaces. I love the duel mechanic. You saw how it makes boss battles a lot cooler and just like a bit more cinematic, which is, I think, a lot of fun. It also made an ability that was almost useless in the original game tough slightly better. The addition of another card type in the planning deck, I think, is great because it just gives you more you can get from planning, more variety, more stuff you can use, and makes like bigger planning actions more valuable. And the new mercenary missions look really cool too. I haven't played them all yet, but this one, the Crate Dragon, you're like hunting this huge dragon guy and you have to defeat him multiple times and you got to like bait him out and stuff. And he has his own little special event decks. That's really neat. You've got the Saboteur one. I mean, yeah, all of them are cool. And, personally, I don't really have any interest in the hidden trader kind of mode. So the fact that all of them can be played without that, just like regular solo co-op, is great. And the new characters are awesome. If you haven't seen the original characters, they each have a once per game ability that lets them do something cool a single time, and then they flip their character card, and that's it. So having all these new characters have an ongoing ability that they can use over and over again and never flips is great. Now, it does make them feel like in Ahsoka's case, for example, getting one free move every turn, maybe a little bit stronger than the original characters, but I don't really mind that kind of thing. Yeah, I think these are much more exciting than the originals. So yeah, Ahsoka, you already saw. Boba Fett can attack twice. So he's like the only person who can actually put multiple cards in the same slot, and he's got a lot of like really cool special attacks in his deck. You already saw Fennec. And Bo-Katan keeps a cop card of her skill deck face up, and all of her ability cards will like pay attention what card's on top and give bonuses based on what it is, or let her draw or discard her top card to kind of mill for something that'll be better for her. So really cool mechanics, really cool new characters. Only 4 instead of 8 compared to the original game is fine, because, having 12 is just a ton of variety. So overall, I think this expansion is a no-brainer. Now, I already love the original Mandalorian Adventures, so having more variety in the mixing and matching of modular elements is going to be great, of course. If you didn't like Mandalorian Adventures, I don't think anything here will, make you enjoy it more. It doesn't change things that much. My only complaint about the expansion, honestly, and it's a minor one, is that they did this. Okay, so I already mentioned this earlier, where the only thing that gets switched out when you're playing the higher difficulty is what the reinforcements are. Because, hey, did you notice in this mission that they literally never got a reinforcement because they didn't draw any of those event cards? So that means that going to the quote-unquote higher difficulty of having these tougher enemies did absolutely nothing. Whereas, again, in the original game, they would have replaced a whole bunch of these basic enemies that were already on the map, and things would have been tougher from the get-go. Now, to be fair, as I said at the beginning, it was annoying to have to go through all the enemies and replace specific ones, because they would have, these little, here, I can show you these little gems. So you'd have to go through each type of enemy for a given mission and see all the ones that had one little dot there and replace them with ones that had 2 dots. So it was annoying to have to do that, but it gave a more consistent raise to the difficulty, whereas here it's a bit more swingy. Although I will note, this specific mission doesn't have much spawning, whereas this one spawns a ton of enemies, so this would actually be a major difficulty increase. And this one also can consistently spawn some enemies, so it is kind of a question of the map. Otherwise, you're just kind of waiting on the swinginess of the event cards to maybe spawn or maybe not. But it's really minor complaint, and again, I see the benefits to setup being way faster to use these ones instead of that and not have to dig through things. So I'll call that a wash instead of a straight up pro or con. But yeah, everything else, great. This is definitely a good expansion. If you like Mandalorian Adventures, pick it up. Thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Pedro Lucas, Nick Skeen, Miles, Wayne Scott, and Steve Wren. We'll see you at the next step.